Partida encontrada.
Beleza, vamos nessa.
A palavra de hoje é traição. Você trair seu país, um grupo ou uma pessoa? Deixem as balas voarem.
Recarregando.
Calma aí, vou resolver.
A gente foi invencível com essas toneladas.
Perdeu. Recarregando.
Vai, vai, vai!
Carregando.
Ganhei de novo.
Cortando a visão. Isso! Aqui! Tô avançando! Minha última tá perdida! Lamentável.
Desapareça.
Recarregando. Cortando a visão. Recarregando. Vai, vai! Recarregando. Morro de saudade. Vai, vai, vai! Vai, devagar!
Boa tentativa. Ou pior.
Cortando a visão.
Sai.
E bora!
Recarregando.
Foi dada a largada. Tô vazando.
Acho que não.
Inimigo abatido. Vai devagar. Recarregando. 3. Tô avançando.
Te faltou um.
Toma visão.
Eles estão muito mortos.
Se você está gostando desse mapa, apoie-nos clicando no botão de favorito.
Six, seven.
game can do, even just taking height early on. If you don't hold it for the rest of the game, all those placement points that you're getting into the later stage of that game, even if you don't win, it's still going to be a really good benefit for you because you can move your way into that top 19 like we've seen those guys do. So even if you don't win here, you have to sort of think about, are we going to be a win team? Are we going to be a team that's going to try and take height, give it up a little bit, but claim those placements, and then try and get in through consistency?
And even if we're kind of one of these teams outside of that top 19, maybe we're thinking, hey, that win might even be enough. I don't even need to be top 50. It doesn't matter because even if you have 0 points, you get the win and you're in, Vivid. So literally so many very fluid ways to try and make it to tomorrow's finals.
Absolutely. And yeah, I feel like I like the point that you kind of brought up about the high ground, you being able to hold it the entirety of the game. You do pick up enough points to kind of justify it. Right now, the winning formula does appear to be coming from the high ground almost exclusively. With this break happening right now and team strategizing, I'll be curious to see if high ground changes up at all.
Interesting stuff here. I'm getting word. This being the halfway point, we got to check in with our team in first place. Agers and Ritual. Frankie is standing by.
Due to the fact that Reet and Cooper qualified yesterday and they're no longer contesting you?
Well, I was a little sick yesterday, so I don't think I was playing the best, but now that we're on con, games are pretty easy for us.
Has Ritual been nursing you back to health?
No, yeah, he's been open a lot for sure. He's been carrying the load.
I can imagine. Ritual, what's it like now, feeling refreshed, feeling healthy, and knowing you had the motivation of making tomorrow?
I mean, it feels great. It's not the route we wanted to take to get to the finals, but we got to go through it, and we'll pull through tomorrow.
It's great to see you guys showing up the consistency we know you on for when you're playing back in North America. What's interesting to me is the teams that are getting through, they tend to be contesting for high ground. I don't feel like we're seeing that as much from you at the moment. What's your plan? What's your preference?
You know, if we have the fizz bombs, we'll go height, but we tend to like mid ground and low ground. You know, I've always played that through my years of playing, so that's like home to me.
Well, you look at home. Is the aim, though, to actually get that victory royale, or do you prefer the safety of knowing you're going to qualify through consistency?
I think we're going to just play the games out, not focus too much on the win, and just try to fight all the teams that we can.
Well, you're looking really comfortable, #1 of 19 for consistency at the moment, but say tomorrow you're facing that off-spawn battle against Bree and Cooper again. What's going to happen?
I mean, yesterday was 3-1. And, you know, we're both under the weather, so if we're both max health, we'll probably be 6-0, 8-0 tomorrow.
Somebody get these boys some vitamin C, because it looks very likely we're going to see that off-spawn battle tomorrow, and we want to see the best fight possible. Let's head back to the desk.
Thank you so much, Frankie. Obviously, you know, hoping that they recover very quickly. They can wake up feeling refreshed tomorrow for those finals, but they are currently in the #1 spot in consistency, right? I think that's a great way to kind of view it is I'm out in front. We play the games out the way they are. We don't necessarily need a win. And for them, this is even a good chance to get practice in.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm so jealous, Minnie, because, you know, we're interviewing all of these players throughout the weekend. They all seem so confident. Like, we're talking to Aegis right there and just kind of talking about the quality of the games in the lower bracket. He's like, well, since we're uncontested, the games are just easy for us.
Yeah,
like, wow.
It makes a difference, doesn't it? It helps them, and you can see what they can do now when they are uncontested. But like Frankie was alluding to right there, if they do, of course, qualify through, which they pretty much are now already, it's going to be a difficult off-spawn battle for them. They're, of course, very confident, 8-0, we're going to win easily. But think back to yesterday, wasn't quite as smooth for them as they would have hoped. So I think they're going to have to use a lot of that experience to their advantage. And even the fact that now they're not going to know what tomorrow even looks like in terms of who's going to be around them. So I think they, of course, missed out on an opportunity there yesterday in qualifying through.
I'm going to take a quick moment right here because we were kind of watching that interview, and it's so funny to me because, you know, we've talked a lot about the players that are already qualified through finals, and one of those players, of course, is Acorn. We started the show, and Acorn was kind of in the back of the interviews, making all these funny faces, everything like that. The guy hasn't moved. Like, we just did that interview right there with Ritual and Aegis, and he was still sat down, seemingly reviewing games and everything like that. So a quick little sneak peek into the practice room I saw right there from Acorn. I'm a little worried for everybody playing tomorrow.
Well, Viv, what's funny is we can actually see if Acorn is still there because Frankie is standing by with Shadow and Virgo.
I am, and these guys are discussing what happened in the last game, because apparently, Shadow, you griefed it.
Yeah, we kind of got keyed, or we keyed them, and then we kind of died, but it's all good. We got next game.
Well, this is the thing, it must be quite hard, because you know you've got this amazing fragger in Virgo, so surely sometimes you just want to say, W-key it, go and eliminate everyone.
I mean, yeah, I mean, he's like the best fragger in the world. I could just IGL him, he could just solo clutch whenever, so it's fine, yeah.
It must be hard to keep you on a leash sometimes, I have to say. Virgo, the first 2 games, though, placing 3rd and 4th, looking incredible. What do you think is the key to those consistent placements?
I mean, honestly, like, we just have our whole game plan down. We know what to do early, mid-game. We're quick on everything. Like, there's just zero nerves because we're just so confident. We prepared so well. I mean, it just feels really easy, honestly.
Well, here's the thing. Sometimes when players prepare really well, they want to stick to the Fortnite. They forget to trust their instincts. What happens when things don't go to plan, Shadow?
For us, that's not going to happen, so we're just going to win. But yeah.
Well, I hope that's not famous last words. You're currently 5th out of 19th at the moment, so it is very probable that you'll get through, but anything can happen in this particular format. But you were saying to me before we got into the interview, Virgo, you think you're going to win the next game?
Yeah, I mean, we can choose when we want to play good and when we want to just have fun, you know. I mean, we're on a hot streak, so we just had to calm down a little bit, but I think next game we're winning.
Okay, that means you guys aren't going to have fun, but we're going to love every minute. Let's head back to the desk. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Frankie. And yeah, Bolts, Don't worry, we see you too. Man, I like seeing the confidence out of the duo. You know, Viv, do you believe that to be true though, right? They're thinking, hey, we can kind of have fun when we want to. We can play hard when we want to. Now we're going to come in and get a VR right here, right now. Is that possible?
Dude, I feel like we have to. Of lands under his belt now. He was like, dude, listen, after playing so on creative, I feel so confident. I feel like we're seeing just that. I mean, the duo looks pretty confident to me in game. They sound confident out of game. I gotta believe that they're winning game number 4.
And that must be hard though when you're Virgo to have a lot of expectations on yourself coming into it and then going into that practice room performing incredibly well and then everyone's sort of piling on you saying you are going to do so good this weekend, you're incredible, how good are you, you're amazing. So he's actually carrying that really well. Of course, second place right now today. Interested to see what happens to their drop spot as well when they do qualify through to the grand finals. Hero and FKS landing there, of course, in those grand finals. So will they be contesting them? Will they be moving around? There's a lot of questions now that they'll be thinking about in the back of their minds, and a lot of those players in that practice room also vodding, keeping their eyes on this lobby as well to see how the Osborne situation is going to go.
It's so cool, man, seeing all this kind of unfold. It makes me think of the Global Championships, which reminds me, don't forget, yesterday we announced some things. We have a beautiful graphic here lined up for you guys that may have missed it, but FNCS 2026 now looks like this. We got the Global Championship happening September 26th and 27th in Antwerp, Belgium. What's up? Major 2 has new dates, July 18th to August 2nd, with that last chance from the 3rd to the 14th in August. And obviously, don't super know what that FNCS solo online thing might be in October. I don't know, not sure, but keep eyes out because more information will follow. We've also in the blog announced power rankings, and guess what? Levin was made a little video for us. Check it out.
This weekend, the best players in the world are proving it on the stage. But competitive Fortnite is bigger than one weekend. It's every cup, every finish, every performance that pushes a player further. Introducing Power Rankings. Your Battle Royale and Reload tournament results will build towards your individual power ranking. Updated weekly, you can track your global standing, share with friends, and follow your favorite players.
Shout outs to Big Man 112K for that video. Yeah, power rankings. What's really cool is this was built for the players. We got to show them a little early when one of their rehearsal days, hey, this is power rankings on the way. And man, it's so cool. It's basically just like a player's competitive resume, right? Just being able to look at a number and be like, oh, you thought you were better than me. Hey, what's this say right here?
I think it's really, really cool. Some of the people behind the scenes that, of course, work hands-on with this, we're throwing some great ideas around. Like, obviously, these power rankings can be used for tournaments that Fortnite themselves kind of put on. But then there was this great idea also thrown out there. Was like, well, it doesn't necessarily even have to be Fortnite exclusive, right? Some of the creators that we know and love can kind of use that list for themselves to also put on some tournaments. So just so many possibilities with power rankings. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's gonna be really interesting for sort of lower level competitive as well, for you guys out there at home that are trying to break into competitive and learn and try and find teammates on your skill level and improve together. This is gonna be a really great way to actually find those teammates instead of people sort of being like, oh yeah, I'm really good at the game, and then you find out it's not the case and you don't gel. But it's like, yeah, I've got the stats to back it up now. I've got the power ranking, and I want to see if I'm gonna be higher than Vivid in life.
Oh, crazy stuff. Well, I know that I'm definitely not on that list, so that's okay. But yeah, like we said, this is a great way for the players to see, and obviously a great way to kind of earn respect from your peers, right? And what's cool too is with the players all being here, they had a moment to say how much they respect each other. Check this out.
It's one day, 8 games only, a lot can happen.
There's so many contenders, so it's gonna be hard.
The secret would definitely be experience, being able to consistently perform under pressure.
It's either you got it or you don't, and we happen to have it. These are the best of the best, but I think we're ready to compete against them.
I'd say the biggest competition is probably Sky and Scroll.
Sky and Scroll.
Sky and Scroll.
Sky and Scroll.
No, this is Sky Scroll.
They've been the most consistent team by far.
I think their average placement for the past season is top 10, which is just insane on EU.
They have really good team play, especially in endgame. It just sets them apart from everyone else.
I've known them for some time, but then they just suddenly became the best. They have the best duo chemistry.
They prove without a doubt they can play 12 games on the hardest region and make every endgame.
Biggest competition? I mean, I would probably say Shark and Teeny.
Maybe Shark and Teeny, to be honest.
I mean, it's gonna be Shark and Teeny now.
Shark and Teeny, just two very good individual players.
They were conned last rounds. We didn't get a chance to really see what they're about.
One can't, they could 100% be contenders to win, and if they can't, I would hope to see them in the top 5.
It all depends on how he reacts.
I think Kervin Vino has a unique play style. I would love to see them competing against the best of the best.
Vino, just when he's locked in, he could just do anything at this point.
I think the way to keep up is just your love for the game and wanting to be better each and every day.
One of the most underrated teams here, I would say, is Victor V and Canada. I could see them easily sweeping a top 10 or even maybe a top 5.
Surprise, maybe us even. Maybe us.
Josh Rayleigh, he's up and coming.
Just his fighting ability, you know, like people call him the next Peterbot, so I think that he'll really impress a lot of people.
過小評価されてるのは結構自分たちかなって思います。Toyota is like definitely up there. Maybe he will surprise top 5.
From Asia, Toyota, I think will do good.
I definitely looked up to Mr. Savage.
It's cool knowing that I was like watching him back in like 2019. I was just like not even good at the game at all. Now we're here.
がずっと強いなと思ってて、なんか本当にフォートナイトが好きなんだろうなって思います。
We have Thomas HD. He is still going and still looking like a very good team right now.
I used to look up to him a lot, but I think a lot of things has to go in his favor for him to win.
As like, I guess the face of OCE, obviously I've got a lot of pressure on me.
I'm proud to represent EU. I think it's the best region by far, and I feel like we keep showing it.
The most important thing, I want to make my Middle East region proud, and hopefully I can do it in this tournament.
This is all I ever wanted, you know, since I was 13 playing, trying to become the best, but it's not going to be nothing if I can't take it home this weekend, so we'll see.
What's super interesting about that video is when you kind of look at the kind of like breakdown of, oh, there's like all these OG players who all these players looked up to, and now wait, those players are still on the stage, but then the people that were looking up to those players are also on the stage, and they're all kind of battling out. Crazy things could happen in Fortnite. Life-changing amounts of money happening tomorrow that could change the lives and trajectory of so many of these players. I mean, Fortnite is, well, Fortnite is.
Fortnite is crazy, man. Obviously, there's a lot on the line this weekend. I know there was some regional love coming out of there as well, right? Some of the players kind of playing this weekend, it feels like for their region, right? They want to represent there. Also love the last little tidbit, Cold being like, listen, man, like, I've been playing this game since I was 13. The only thing I've ever wanted to do is to be the best. But he feels like, yeah, I mean, we all look up to Cold. We think he's literally like one of the best players in the world, like probably like top 5. So he's pretty much like done that, but he hasn't won on land. That's what he wants.
And that's what these players are like. They're always striving for that next big goal. And it's like, even when they win, it's like, I want to win again. I want to go back to back. So it's really nice to see that. They're, like you were saying, Zeke, a lot of sort of old players, a lot of older players, I suppose, like 23, that are playing with these newer talent players as well. We were speaking about that a lot on EU. It's like, you know, someone like Thomas HD, a player that played at the World Cup, had such incredible longevity, teaming up with someone like Focus, a newer player coming on through. We're not sort of like shedding away a lot of those older players, which I think is what makes Fortnite such a fantastic game. Someone like Focus can use the experience of someone like Thomas to really carry him through these games and transfer that experience in order for him to go on and do great things.
I love that. And shout outs to Thomas. Happy birthday, by the way. Don't think we didn't not know, Thomas. Happy birthday. Man, such a fantastic time now. Obviously, we've got 3 games in our belt. We're still during the halfway point period. So why don't we look at some stats and see some of the categories some of these players are currently leading in. Eliminations going over to Zangy, 13. Damage dealt, Atrix. Well, that's pretty much why we're seeing them in first place.
Yeah, I mean, no surprise there. We did kind of talk about the dynamic between Rich and Adrian. Adrian's usually taking on the role of the fragger right there. Super cool to see builds placed by some of our teams as well. Craze with over 1,200. You could kind of imagine that, you know, with Kingling on the team, maybe Craze.
End games, and of course leaving his teammate Virgo to try and solo clutch as much as he possibly could, so, or Velo I should say, solo clutching as much as he could, so it was a difficult situation for them, but now they're seemingly coming together now and having a little bit more success in those end games.
And I'm happy that you're kind of talking about solo clutches right there, because we saw that last stat, 60 solo clutch points for Virgo. I mean, what a better storyline, right? We were kind of talking about him all week as being this player that just seems so mechanically gifted and creative, and he jumps into the lobby, instantly is showing off that individual prowess. Love to see it.
So sick, man. What a fantastic, and just, I keep thinking like, man, it's been already so much fun, but tomorrow we also have a finals, right? Tomorrow, after 8 games, we will have a brand new duo with a brand new title, Summit Champions. Crazy stuff. The players are currently starting to make their way back into the lobby. We'll get ready. We'll get them back on that battle bus here shortly. Why don't we check in with our bingo card, see how things are going after the first 3 games. Turns out we've got a couple of these already ready to go. Let's hit them with the stamps. Boom! Ooh. 10 elimination wins. Swizzy coming out strong. Pixie game number 1. We saw that go over early.
We got to double stamp that one. 10 plus eliminations. Of course, we did have the Swizzy and Pixie game, but we did just see Craze and Pingling also go ahead and pick up a 10 plus elimination game as well.
Yeah, we also had, of course, the non-EU or NA team in Nuti Gavzera. They, of course, got the victory royale in game number 2. That was great to see. I love to see the sort of smaller region fans coming together, because there's some here. We have, of course, the viewing party streamers that are watching along as well. The vibes when one of those teams wins, because you just know how much it means to them. So super happy for those guys. Hopefully we get some more smaller region teams in their grand finals as well.
Absolutely, man. I love looking. I love this is like, obviously, you know, as a fan, and we're trying to have all the cameras watch the player faces, but we get to be right here, right down in front to see them walking back in. A lot of them, you know, some smiles, many more super focused, back up, locked back in. They're thinking all the same thing. You know, Vivid, we have 3 games left to go. Even in just 30 minutes, that's time, right? That's time to take a step back to kind of reassess. What do you think are maybe just some of the things they may have prepared or changed up?
Yeah, I'm trying to get a read on some of the players kind of walking around looking for some emotion. Yeah, it is. Yep. I see Richwell right here, man. He's all smiles, shaking his head as soon as I said his name, so he's feeling confident. No reason not to be, of course. But yeah, the opportunity to go ahead and take a break. Obviously, the players can kind of go back to the practice room, review very, very quickly, have an opportunity to go ahead and get a snack and do anything that they kind of need to do. What can you possibly kind of look at in just 30 minutes when Fortnite games themselves almost take 30 minutes that can kind of help out the second half of the performance here today?
It's optimization, and I feel like it's not something that we speak often about because we're not in these situations about enough, I suppose. But like being proficient in the Fortnite replay mode as a pro player, super valuable. It's a genuine skill gap, because if you can get those replays, you can get that information sooner. You can actually get all of that information way quicker than some of the teams and some of the players that maybe aren't as proficient at it. I mean, Vivid, if you're of course an ex-pro player, if you're not having as great of a day at the beginning of the day, do you then change things up now in this sort of format in the second half of the day? Do you mix everything up? I know Levin's a fan of just ripping everything up and throwing it out the window, but how would you approach it?
No, I actually mentioned myself yesterday. I was like, nah, man, don't rip it all up. I personally, listen, always went into tournaments absolutely prepared, right? I usually performed pretty well, so usually whatever I was doing was working. So I kind of just usually
so you're never in that situation?
Yeah, exactly. Never have a bad tournament. Yeah.
Oh my goodness gracious. Well, hey, as we continue to load them onto the battle bus, let's keep reminding ourselves, right? 3 games left to go. The standings will tell us all that we need to know. The bubble is top 19. We do still have 3 VRs on the line. Right now, though, Viv, Sato, Protosai, they're holding on. It's a tie, but they're holding on.
They are holding on. Listen, I'm going to go back to that first page real quick, because I saw something that we didn't have the opportunity to go ahead and talk about, which is absolutely crazy. When we do make our way back there, I'll go ahead and bring up my point. Alex and Reckless have actually been top 19 throughout the day so far. It looks like after game number 3, they did unfortunately drop outside of that. I was looking towards them because I feel like the big conversation throughout the day so far has been those smaller region teams. Quick comment here on King and Phaser. I have not seen Clicks and Higgs on the leaderboard yet as well, so maybe Ronkulan is not really working out for either of them.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, looking at Chino and Pablo, of course, as well. Sandy, Strip, losing 8 places right there, falling outside of that top 19. The second half of competition now for these guys is going to be so important. We spoke about them a lot yesterday. A huge team in EU coming into the major finals. They didn't really show too much. We didn't get to see the best of Chino and Pablo Wingu. When it came to those major finals, they turned it up to 11. They were so strong. They nearly won the whole thing if it wasn't for Sky and Scroll's excellence of Spawn in game number 11. So now they're going to need to have almost that in a more condensed way. They clutched up at the second half of Major 1. They're going to need to clutch up in the second half of this competition. And of course, they've got 3 more games to do it. Thankfully, though, it's not down and out. They're not all the way down at the bottom of the leaderboard. I think that kind of would mean they need to try and go for a win. For them, they can continue to try and play their game. Keep an eye out for them off Spawn, though.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, well, really, no matter where you are all at the leaderboard, it does not matter. You can qualify no matter what game number it is. As you can see, Mr. Savage finally taking a seat. Listen, we were watching these players kind of walk in, and I'm not going to lie, Mr. Savage, I think, was the last one to make it to the stage. So potentially a couple of extra minutes of preparation spent right there. He sat back down and instantly got focused, started to communicate and talk about something. And I'm happy to kind of see them planning, because it feels like they do need to kind of have a different approach. He is currently outside of that bubble.
Yeah, he is. And it's a team that everyone wants to see, of course, in the grand finals. A lot of people have questions about Velo, of course, picking him up as a newer coming player. This is a team that we were talking about earlier, the old guard pairing up with this new talent. And it seems like the new talent always step up to the plate. But for now, this is better than ever. This is the time to step up to the plate. The ultimate test in these final few games. Can they find it through a win? Will they need to stay consistent? It's all up to what Mr. Savage has discussed and looked at in this break.
Mr. Savage has been getting a lot of love from the crowd. Somebody else has been getting a lot of love from the crowd when he walks out. Clicks alongside Higgs. I think a lot of us had big hopes for the duo coming into the weekend. Honestly, kind of expected them to do better in the upper bracket, especially after game number 1, because they look good. But Mini, I don't want to have to say it, man, but 44th place on the leaderboard right now.
Well, we spoke to them, Levin spoke to them at the beginning of the day. He said in this sort of format, the lower bracket, you haven't had the greatest success. Think back to 2023. He asked Clicks, what's different? Higgs is different. It hasn't been working out for them so far. And I think a lot of that off-spawn situation, they've been struggling in the early stages of the game, right? They haven't been able to make it to those later stages to show what they can do. I think they're one of the better teams in this lobby, if not the best, that hasn't qualified through. And of course, all the way down in that last page of the leaderboard. So they've still got more to get.
Like Vivid said, doesn't matter what place you're in, you just can get a Victory Royale, and you could be seeing that battle bus heading on to the finals tomorrow. Game number 4 is ready. So Fortnite fam, lock in. Casters, take it away.
For some of our teams, the dreams are still going, but for others, it could end here tonight. Obviously, we are still looking to try and figure out who's going to secure these last few placements for the Victory Royales and bring it to tomorrow's preparation.
Yeah, this being the second half of the day, where you're out on the leaderboard means so much. You might look to get a little aggressive. You might have to get one of these Victory Royales. Let's let this game begin. It all starts here.
This is where you start feeling the pressure halfway through the competition. 3 more matches to be played out. We've got a lot of teams that are looking more for that Victory Royale than qualifying through consistency, and they are some big names.
One big thing, though, to keep in mind is that the players did have an opportunity, even if it was brief, even if it was just 30, 40 minutes, to try and get some form of review. And you have to wonder, were some of the players already in the player lounge trying to help them out as Giannis cheat and unsuccessful off-spawn finish there? GRX and Randu very happy to come out on top.
Yeah, interesting decision here for Giannis and Cheatin to continue to contest the top of that rock. Yesterday in game 1, they were contested, but they were going over towards Sus Studios. King and Craze had already qualified out of Sus Studios, so I thought that would have been a no-brainer, but a whole nother team takes it into the mix. But back to a fight that we've seen game after game after game here. Poe decides he's going to try to go as far out as he can, basically leaving Sato by himself.
I drop Marius. They're above the cutoff currently. Now with a 2v1, can they pick up this free elimination, or is Sato going to be able to escape? They have the choice to play it safer, loot up, get mats, but looks like the aggression might come through.
Switch wait and see whether or not Medius and iDrop know that they need to try and capitalize on this opportunity. It's one thing to beat Sato and Podesai off the Osman, but it's another to find those additional eliminations. They're sitting at 88 points. They don't want to miss the cutoff when it comes to consistency.
Yeah, I like their decision to instantly disengage. If you're Sato and Podesai, you said it yourself, 64 points. That is the line as of now. It will continue to change as the games go on, but you want to give yourself a fighting chance, just like Clix and Higgs here. This has not been the tournament they thought they would have, but there's still 3 games left.
North side of Wonky, it has been looking incredibly tough. Now, they had 30 minutes, refresh mentally a little bit. You had your little halftime preparation. Now, it's not a full day like a 2-day competition, but we'll see if it was enough for them to find something.
Well, what I was really trying to get at is whether or not players are actually going to be able to see if there were other teams willing to assist them, because you might be trying to set up someone else to contest an opponent in finals. And I think that that could actually bode a different sort of issue for tomorrow. Zengi and Belusi, though, they have whole new intentions here. A little bit of a surprise, and Nathan never saw it coming. Still barely managing to stay alive, quick on his feet with the reaction times, but it's just not enough. Nev's too far away to actually close the gap. He'll be forced to disengage. Zengi and Belusi, though, looking to just chase this one out.
That was big for Zengi and Belusi. Nathan and Nev, they're so used to going up against Muzz and Sphinx. They probably saw them go elsewhere. They thought they were free, but it's that 1 second of letting your guard down that all it takes to have a team like this play aggressive, get that first elimination here. Now they're trying to secure 2. Nevs is now in danger because now Zengi is just knocking on the top side of that box, trying to get to control. Nevs is backing up, lands a good shot onto Belusi, but how long can he stay alive?
Not only do they have the upper hand, but the tables, they're beginning to turn. You have to be careful as Nevs is not missing a single shot. Zengi Belusi forced to step back and take it slow.
I get it. It's super tempting whenever you've got a solo to not fixate exclusively on running them down, but these are still all global contenders for a reason. Nebs is ready to step up to the plate.
Yeah, and I think what's going down right now, Belusi and Zengi are so far up the leaderboard, they're trying to push Nathan and Nebs out. They're trying to push Muzz and Sphinx out. And that way, if they make it to Championship Sunday, they will be uncontested. It's going to take a lot of work, but I do think they are right on the money. Drew and Vidil, same thing could be said for them. A phenomenal performance in that last game. All they have to do is have at least one more repeat.
Crowd is cheering for them. Audience is roaring. We know what Vidil and Drew are capable of, and so far, they have been putting on a show, but the job is not finished. 114 points. It's not going to be enough.
Could be problematic as well, dealing with the team already establishing a surge base, but King finally clashing head on Clix and Higgs. This is where they've really got to turn it up, because it has not been a very great day for these two so far, and the crouch sneak up onto King. Those are the kinds of plays that we were sort of anticipating. We've been waiting to see when are Clix and Higgs actually going to choose to pounce. They've tried the split direction. They've tried the long glide intentions, but where they might just need to trust entirely is in their fighting capabilities.
Yeah, just kind of during that break, talking to a lot of the co-streamers as well. Even the chat's kind of all agreed they need to play aggressive. This is like a shell of how Clix and Higgs have normally played in the NA Central region. They just need to find that comfortability. So many others have already, including Ju and Vidil. They know their game plan, and they're sticking to it every step of the way. And they understand that not everything's going to go perfect. It's about how you handle it.
Careful, though. Epic Whale has been knocked. It was Gerald. Got to be careful with the 2v1 now. You don't want to overextend. We saw what Nebs was able to do earlier on. But with the advantage and Pump no shield to work with, it's not going to be long until one shot is connected. Both angles already covered. Initial does not connect with the second. Will, 2 eliminations now for Gerald and Co.
That's a bit of an upset, too, for Epic and Pump, but Gerald and Mason are sick of having these long, drawn-out fights. They want to be able to establish control of Riptides immediately. So it starts with just getting a great opening shot. Epic Whale just immediately max Pump there, and there's just no opportunity for Pump to really try and recover off of that.
Yeah, lost track of his opponent. A little sneaky lurk play really made them pay. Ages in Ritual. one of our top teams on the day. They went through a contested fight yesterday against Reet and Cooper. We're already locked in for Sunday. Now we all knew it. Whoever might lose that battle on day one will be uncontested in day two. And you're seeing what it does to a team to have so much more freedom in these games. H's Ritual playing much like themselves on how they got second in their NA Central Finals.
With that, you know, comfort from leading the lobby, you can start to think, okay, you know, I'm pretty positive. I'm almost already qualified. Now they can start thinking of the surrounding areas. What are these teams that might contest me if they make it through? What players do I ultimately want to go against on Sunday? How can I stop that? As Liam does pick up a quick elim.
And that was exactly what Badil and Ju were trying to avoid. They saw repairs potentially posing a bit of a threat there, but also bearing in mind, Minipio and all these other teams in the surrounding areas are teams that you don't want to try and get caught in the mix with if you can avoid it.
Chap Flixie, they started things off not looking good at all. 36th place, 47th, but in the last game in a single match, with that 4th place, they've already bumped themselves right to that borderline of qualifying through consistency. They no longer need that big match. All they got to do is keep it up.
Vive and Cam, though, this is a duo that's really got to just get anything going. 34 points currently, and they still need to try and really pick up the pace. The options are largely just going to be about the victory royale at this phase, unless they can have a monumental come up with the elims and a strong placement.
Yeah, this is Aviv and Cam, and it's one of those teams where they had marked in the lower bracket. They're landing over towards Dark Dominion. Swizzy and Pixie in day one, they didn't have the performance that they thought. So now Aviv and Cam, thinking they were uncontested, end up with a big fight. Luckily for them, their opposition is kind of out of here. More and more teams making their way on over. Shargu, Brilliant. They have Reckless kind of trapped down there by himself. Alex seems to be...
Don't want to overstay your welcome. The Deal Jew also close by. Smelling the fight. Is it something they want to pounce on? The zone is continuing to pull further and further. The clock is ticking. Don't know if this is the right decision, and they felt that exactly as they start to disengage.
Whether or not they even knew that Badil and Ju are on the move, it doesn't matter. They don't need to stick around to find out. They've already got the surge they were after. Same case scenario here for Zangi and Belusi. 2 eliminations, trying to see whether or not they can come out on top. They've been so close already on the day. They've definitely done a strong performance here, but Sato, they need this. Hodesai, having been claimed by Chap and Flixie, now puts Sato back into the sticky of whether or not he can actually escape. But luckily for him, Flixie Chap, all they wanted was damage.
Yeah, sometimes all you need is that break in between games 3 and 4. But look at this peculiar loadout here. 6 splashes, 2 different slapperoni pizzas, 4 shockwaves, and no, it's not an iron pump. It is a purple pistol here, and even a gold loadout. So they realize how hard it is in some of these games to not only get surge, but make it through relatively healthy. So now they're having a change in their game plan, hoping to make it work here.
Coming from the 4th place, though, was wondering after the halftime, will that fire still be burning hot? And it looks like it is with the amount of eliminations they've picked up. We talk about overstaying your welcome, but Deal Jew waiting for that reboot. Extra bit of eliminations, plus 4 points on the board as the crowd roars, supporting in Dusseldorf, Germany.
I like this though from Ju and Badil. Whether or not they actually choose to continue the pursuit up against Minpio, damage has been done. But he's gonna have to just keep trying to see how much space he can actually create between himself and Ju and Badil, but they don't really have to wait for Minpio. They can choose to just try and capitalize on the fact he's a solo, not let him go for another reboot opportunity. If they keep trailing him though, that's just going to make it impossible for Minipio to really bring this one back.
Yeah, just a scenic stroll through the zone, past painted palms. They're looking over in that direction. They know he's somewhere around the vicinity, most likely the closest reboot van, but they want to make it as fast to zone as possible. They'll worry about that later. There will be second opportunities as FaZe or King, they're both back up and standing after that off-spawn fight over towards Wonky Land. But in order to get that reboot, they had to move south, further and further away from where the zone looks like it's going.
Despite King having gone down in the early game at Wonky, they're still 200 above currently. They know they are going to need more, though. They're playing that sneaky route. Will it work out?
Medius and iDrop, though, they've been doing a great job handling their off-spawn situation up against Ozai and Sato, but now how will they fare up against the likes of Muzz and Spinks? They're already trying to see if they can establish priority control of these boxes, but so far, no good. Muzz, Spinks, still trying to see whether or not they can actually break through. You know that these two definitely love to get a little aggressive when necessary, and they are in dire need of some comeback points.
Yeah, that is true. Marius and iDrop, they missed out on that top 25 qualification due to a tiebreaker that went down to average placement, and it wasn't even a full placement separating them and the upper bracket. Muzz and Spinks, you can see why they're playing so aggressive here in this situation. 281 below the damage threshold. Half of their HP already gone. You can see the desperation start to click in. Active surge, that's gonna hit Spinks before Marius eventually takes him down, leaving Muzz by himself, and he's about to face that same fate. Marius and iDrop, 1,100 above, and with 2 eliminations now.
There's only so much you can do. You're 300 below, and the opponents on the other side of that wall are over 1,000 above the threshold. They have all the time in their world, and that's exactly how they played it out.
Chino and Pablo, on the other hand, recognizing Sato, trying to crash his way into where they're currently boxed up. Likely another solo, desperate for some surge, but he won't get the chance to try and recover here. Chino and Pablo, still, they're gonna need a lot more on the day. They really want to try and finish strong. It's an okay first half, but let's see what you got for the second.
Yeah, but this is the type of game we're needing to see out of Pablo and Chino. A little bit more aggression. Get up early on that Storm Surge leaderboard. It's been the primary thing that has been taking them down, causing distractions in their game plan, forcing their hand when they might not want to. And I feel like a lot of other teams are going to start to feel that pressure here. It's going to go from a 2-tick zone into a 5-tick zone. So if you're not already down below that damage threshold, you need to beeline it there, because that's a lot of damage coming your way.
Great job from Osid and Scary, though. Not getting shot, not getting cracked at all on their rotate in. Issue is 21 below. They have many duos in the surrounding area, so there will be opportunities, but they cannot take any damage here.
Scary and Osid, though, clinging on. As long as you're above, that's all that really matters here. But Shadow and Virgo, they can really just have fun with it. But what I want to see is them back up the talk that they just administered in that player room during Frankie's interview. Are you really going to win it? Because they told us earlier today, Jacob, they were bringing home game 1.
That's why I don't like it when you try to call your shot, and sometimes you just got to play it out, because you never know in a lobby this stacked how hard it can actually be.
This is the talks on EU. Is it a new era? Are these new players going to be the ones that are surpassing Legends, Legacy, like Mr. Savage, who's one of only 5 players to have qualified both for the 2019 World Cup and also this Summit Major? This is a big match for not only him, but also Akira Kurama. They're already in that cutoff. They're very close to being qualified, but they are 197 below. They have not done enough damage. They've taken too much. The Storm Surge has already taken the pressure. It's on.
The one silver lining, though, this is a duo that can afford to have some missteps. And for Akira, things are looking a little bit grim, but even still, he's got so much fighting spirit left behind him. Spots out Basin, tries to get a bigger shot in, but recognizes he still has to just keep trying to make it into zone to begin with, but that'll be cut short. Cassie able to take him out.
134 points is what the cutoff was yesterday for 19. They're not there yet, but they're close.
That's what we'll be looking at here. We got a few games left. And if any of the teams at the top side of the leaderboard will definitely kind of open up the gap down below, but Savage is going to go down. Velo is by himself. And Taco, Takata, there's 31 teams still up. 6 of them need to go down before placement points are even a thing.
But now's the time here for Velo. He's got a solid loadout. If he can pull off some form of huge solo prowess, this will be his best chance to try and shine. He's still having to try and make his way into zone to begin with. Overdrive grenade gonna send him forward. Still 4 left in in the stack, but now the lobby closing in, locking into his position. He's trying to cover off every single angle while sending out shots himself. 27 below, he just needs one more.
Show us what you could do, Velo.
Best chance to try and shine. He's still having to try and make his way into
84
zone to begin
below,
with.
you've lost
Overdrive
your
grenade gonna send
teammate.
him forward.
You've got-
Still 4 left in the stack, but now the lobby closing in, locking into his position. He's trying to cover off every single angle while sending out shots himself. 27 below, he just needs one more.
Show us what you could do, Velo.
Best chance to try and shine. He's still having to try and make his way into
84
zone to
below,
begin with.
you've lost
Overdrive
your
grenade gonna send
teammate.
him forward.
You've got-
Still 4 left in the
Because now he gets a chance at the revive and much needed surge.
Clicks and Higgs, on the other hand, trying to see whether or not they can tango with some of these other duos just behind them. This is the first time we've really seen them try to be a little bit more proactive with the off-spawn. And while that did net them a general success with that first elimination, it's what you can do with it after the fact. But they need a big-time endgame performance here. They need so many placement points to play catch-up.
Getting to the front side of zone, it's not going to be easy. You see how destructive it is on that layer. Click's taking a ton of that damage, but still finds an elimination onto Agers. Much needed as well. Siphon's gonna fix the HP. Everything else could go to regenerating his shields, and we see how he found that elimination. Agers actually boxed up Clicks, and he made him pay.
What a shot. If you're going to take out anyone, it's going to be that #1 team on the consistency leaderboard. Issue is, it's all up to Higgs now. Clicks has gone down, dropped the Storm Surge to only 11 above. It's now active as well. At any moment, Higgs could drop below. He has to be careful.
One consistent narrative that's taken place all day long for so many teams in some of these endgame moments is just the fact that it's short-lived victories. You find one elimination, you think the refresh is all yours for the duo to share, and then somebody else just takes you out along the way. Chap, Flixie hoping to try and change that fact as they continue to make their way forward, but the way that the zone is pulling, players are going to be able to send it on height. Some of these connections can be difficult to keep track of, and for Pix and Ghost, they're looking to see if they can actually take over.
Yeah, from where the zone was to where the zone is at now, there's a little bit of a hill that they are having to go up, and that's where you're seeing a lot of shockwaves come into play and an opportunity to try to steal away the high ground. But for Chino and Pablo Wingu, they're just taking what they can get. This is one of their best games so far on the day today. They really need to continue to make this one count.
Higgs falls, Ghost and Pix. It's looking bright up in the clouds, continuing to rain it down above while that chaos unfolds below. Velo, he's still up. The solo clutch continues. He's got 43 builds. He's got enough rotations, heals. He's got everything he needs. It is all on you, Velo.
We've seen Virgo get 60 points off the solo clutch. Now Velo trying to see if he can take it one step above, but it's going to be difficult with so many other contenders still in the lobby. Visuals finds a refresh, trying to see if he can send it forward, but the team on height doing a great job at limiting his options. Forced to try and box up, but immediately gets caught out by Nosip. Whether or not he survives it is another story entirely, but Flixie and Chep, they are fully in control of this secondary high layer, a little bit isolated, trying to remain directly underneath the team on height. Also looking to take advantage of the other duo surrounding them. Alex, Rex is going to have some issues here as Flixie and Chap refuse to give up front side.
And somehow Velo slips by unnoticed up until now. He gained the attention of Flixie. Chap as well. High ground now putting pressure. He's out of build and needs a miracle here to survive because he has no extra heals. 63 HP. His run will come to an end. But for Chap and Flixie, this is the run they were looking for.
It's just getting started, already pushed up to 112 points. They started off the day with nothing last game in fourth, and now once again we're seeing them to continue thriving in the end game. Meanwhile, Shadow Virgo, they called it. We're winning next game. They said it's gonna be easy. Let's see if they can make it happen.
Was it a pre-fire or was it just straight up premonition? Shadow Virgo trying to make sure that they can bring this one home, but they'll have to deal with the swords of Flixie and Chap. They are really building so much momentum right now on this front side layer. 7 eliminations in total, still trying to track down more. Every single edit opening up, leading to shots sent into other players, and nobody is anywhere near chest yet, but can they make it over this next clip phase?
Trying to make it as calculated as possible. Fizz bomb going down. They have their eyes set in the clouds. High ground we go, and you can even attach to some of these trees. They're going to use that to try to take the high ground. Chap gets some good damage, but in comes a third party. Shadow and Virgo, they want some of of this fun. They get the elimination on the Flixie, dropping him down further and further into all that chaos. Chap, he's now the only hope for their team.
Issue is, he's left as a solo. 5 elims on the board. Can he continue racking it up? Back and forth, he hits the shot needed. But Shadowburger continuing to rain down from above. The issue is, it's a full do on low. Pablo, Chino, can you make it happen?
This is the moment they've been waiting for. It is their best position on the day. Still more yet to come. Pix just on the other side of their wall. Pablo trying to find the opening shot, but Pixie's just so incredibly low. Finally, Chino will bring him down. Chino and Pablo have the world at their feet, but it's all up to whether or not Shadow and Burger decide to actually shut this one down. Shadow goes up, high ground control still heavily in their favor, and Pablo's finish. It's all up to whether or not Chino can actually bring this one back, but he only has a sliver of HP. But yet still, Chino returning fire and Virgo finding the final shot.
They called their shot. They said, we are qualifying for Sunday. Whether it was consistency or victory royale, they have kept their word. They have showed up and showed out here on the big stage.
It's Brad. I am
Que entro na cal, que entro na cal.
Zenzo.
Ah.